Wife.
Do you remember what we read yesterday and where we are today?
Well, yesterday we read Ezekiel Chapter 38.
Sure as fuck did.
And in that episode, we read about Gog and Magog.
Gog of Magog.
Gog of Magog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we don't know who the fuck Gog of Magog is, but it might be Gog and Magog or Gog of Magog. There's a lot of Gogs and Magogs.
Here a Gog, there a Gog, everywhere Gog, Gog.
Yeah. But essentially, it is God has Ezekiel prophesizing to Gog of Magog, and again, we don't know who that is or where they are because no one really knows what that is. And so we're just guessing that it is some sort of a prophecy towards something future that might happen in Israel with regard to the Bible. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's all kinds of people that have different interpretations because no one knows what this actually is. Mm-hmm. So therefore, Jesus gets involved and the Jewish people get involved and probably even, it's all over the fucking place.
Well, because this Gog of Magog or Gog and Magog show up in the Bible and the Quran.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, even maybe the Quran gets involved.
Yeah. So because what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird.
It's weird.
So anyway, that's as much as we know about Ezekiel chapter 38,
mm-hmm.
which means that today we're getting into
Ezekiel chapter 39 with more of Gog.
All right. Let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, we are hopping into Ezekiel chapter 39, or as I like to call it, Ezekiel.
Yes.
And as I said in the intro, this is a continuation from yesterday's episode about Gog of Magog.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Son of man.
You mere human.
You fucking worm. Prophecy against Gog.
Of course.
And say, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I'm against you, Gog. Chief prince of Meshech and Tubal.
Yeah.
I will turn you around and drag you along. This must be after the earthquake that shook the world.
Right. Yeah.
I will bring you from the far north and send you against the mountains of Israel. Then I will strike your bow from your left hand. Your bow.
Yeah.
Okay. And make your arrows. Yeah, bow. Make your arrows drop from your right hand.
Okay. Wait, this is sounding... You remember back when Moses was fighting Pharaoh, right?
Yeah.
And not fighting, but like doing his magic displays in front of Pharaoh and mm-hmm. trying to convince him to leave Egypt, right? Mm-hmm. And God was like, Moses, go do these things.
Yeah.
Right? And then God was also like, but I'm also going to harden Pharaoh's heart and he's not going to accept it. And so you're going to fail.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So he's doing both of those things at the same time.
Right.
And it's like, why are you, if you want them, what's the fucking point? Right.
Right.
So, and this is similar. This is similar because he's telling Gog, I'm going to bring you against my people. Mm-hmm. And then when you get here, I'm going to fuck you up.
Well, it also sounds like somebody watched too much of those Super Saiyans with Goku. Because, like, all I can picture is somebody in that, like, pose where they're leaping across the sky.
Yeah.
And they're going, like, forever. And they never land.
Yes. That's classic anime, whatever. Jumping thing.
The jumping thing,
thing. Yeah.
Okay, so God is continuing to speak per Ezekiel.
Yeah, to Gog.
Yes.
Right.
On the mountains of Israel, you will fall, you and all your troops and the nations with you. Ha ha ha.
Okay.
I will give you as food to all kinds of carrion birds, to the wild animals.
Okay, yeah.
You will fall in the open field, for I have spoken, declares the sovereign Lord.
Got it, yeah.
I'm not just going to fuck your shit up. I'm going to feed you to the fucking vultures and shit.
If God's the one bringing them, though, I'm still kind of stuck on this.
Okay, hold on. But you said that before, and I let it go.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it said specifically that he's bringing them. It just said, y'all are going to be coming this ways, and that's not... I'm going to stop you.
No, he said he's going to send them against Israel. Like, that's what it said at the beginning of this chapter.
Sending them against...
Yeah. Yeah, it said that specifically.
I'm against you, Gog. I will turn you around and drag you along. I will... Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. You're right. Okay.
So, yeah, he's causing them to go to Israel.
Specifically, like somebody who was just over there minding their own whatever.
Right.
Maybe not, but unmentioned up until now. Like,
right, but
fuck?
At the same time he's saying he's going to send them against Israel, he's also saying, okay, now prophecy to these people and tell them that I'm going to kill the fuck out of them when they get here.
Let me ask you, if you're Ezekiel, are you going up north to look for Gog and be like, hey, guess what?
No.
Bro.
No, Ezekiel never did this. This is bullshit.
Yeah. You will fall in the open field, for I have spoken, declares the sovereign Lord.
Yeah, well, Ezekiel spoke anyway.
Yeah. I will send fire on Magog and on those who live in safety in the coastlands, and they'll know that I'm the Lord.
What the coast? We were just talking about the north, and now we're talking about the coastlands?
Sure.
He's just going to kill everybody when this happens, huh?
Fuck everybody up.
Except for the Israelites.
I'm God. I'm a petty little bitch. I fuck everybody up.
I mean, really, that's just what he does. He's killing people indiscriminately. Basically.
You have magic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have magic. You're God and you have magic.
Sure,
okay?
sure, yeah.
And I am Ezekiel, okay?
Yeah.
So now you tell me what you're going to do.
What I tell you what I'm going to do.
You're God with magic, and I'm Ezekiel.
If I'm God with magic, I'm going to
Talk
say...
to me. I'm Ezekiel. Talk to me.
Tell the people that they're going to be awesome and they're going to be all right, because I'm just going to leave them alone, and if they need help, I'll help them out.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
The end.
Right, the end.
That's a great book.
Yeah.
I love that story.
Yeah, that pretty much covers everything up to current state with the Old
that's
Testament.
chapter 1.
If I were God.
That's chapter 1, okay? This is chapter 2.
Okay, all right.
I'm Ezekiel still, and you're still God with magic,
Sure,
okay?
yeah.
Hey, God.
Uh-huh.
So there's some people here that are dying of like leprosy or whatever.
I'll cure them, obviously.
Sweet.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah, the end.
Okay, chapter 3.
Sure.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Hey,
So
God.
this is a great mind exercise here. I'm liking this, yeah.
Hey, God.
Yeah, what's up?
There's some people to the north, and they keep attacking us, and we're not trying to bother them, and like they're bugging us, and I don't want like them to die or anything, so I'm not trying to ask you like for murdery type
I'll
things.
totally just change their hearts and I'll make them stop doing that. So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so cool of you.
For
Is there anything I can do to help? Or?
I mean, just don't be a dick, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I can do
that's
that.
pretty much it.
Like feed the needy and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What if there's no needy, God? Is that something we can work out?
I mean, I can see what I can do. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I think we could figure something out.
The end.
Okay.
What a great fucking book, right? Wow. I love this book. Okay, that was fun.
Yeah.
You see how
it's real easy. Yeah, I think maybe I should take over his job.
Yeah.
And that's
you can't do worse.
No, you really can't.
And I think I did a good Ezekiel because I was still doing an acid trip.
Yeah.
Because I was seeing God.
Right.
But I think I asked for the right things.
Yeah.
And I think that counts for something somewhere.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I actually this is it's something we may pursue in the future, but we still have the information available for it and the podcast ready to go if we want to do it. But like I was toying with the idea of creating a podcast called God Recruiter and just hiring the next God, you know?
Yeah, that would be
that would be really, really fun. But
honestly, I think you would do a good job. So
yeah. I mean, I think I could do a good job.
Yeah.
But I definitely will be I can do better than God.
Yeah.
In the Bible.
Yahweh
in the
or
Bible,
whatever.
Yeah. The Bible.
The bobble.
The bobble.
The bobble-headed.
Yeah.
The bobble-headed God. I, says God according to Ezekiel, will make my holy name known among my people, Israel.
If they don't fucking know their name by now, then they must just not know God.
I will no longer let my holy name be profaned, and the nations will know that I, the Lord, am the Holy One in Israel.
Didn't we solve this when he brought them back to Israel? Remember how he was fixing their hearts and all that stuff?
Yeah.
So I don't understand this not being profane. Like, is he talking about people in other countries profaning him?
Yeah. He's still so fucking worried about what the people that he created, but that aren't his chosen ones, what they think of him.
Okay.
And I'm like, what if you just choosed them too?
Yeah, I mean, you are God.
You made everybody,
you
right?
hypothetically have the ability and have used the ability, according to the Bible, to change other people's and not your nation's hearts.
Right.
So why don't you just do it to the people that are profaning you? That would be so much easier, wouldn't it?
It would be nicer.
Like, you can snap your fingers and in 6 days come up with all of the universe creation and everything. Certainly you can change like 6,000 people's hearts, right?
Right.
That doesn't seem like that big of a task at that point.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you already invented these people. You know how they work, and you can obviously do that. So just fucking do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can rest on the 6th or 7th day or something. I mean,
however many days
whatever you need, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're good with that.
Sure. It is coming.
Jesus.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It will surely take place, declares the sovereign Lord. It's a coming.
Yeah.
It's a coming.
Yeah.
This is the day I have spoken of.
The day. Okay. This is the day he's spoken of.
Yeah.
This is the day that Gog's coming to.
You know how I was talking just then?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Okay.
I said what I said.
Got it.
Okay.
So this changed from a prophecy to current day?
I don't know.
All right. I don't either.
Then those who live in the towns of Israel will go out and use the weapons for fuel and burn them up. The small and large shields, the bows and arrows, the war clubs and spears. For 7 years, they will use them for fuel. 7 years.
7 years. That's a lot of fucking shields and spears. I don't think spears burn that well.
That's a long fire.
I guess there is a wooden shaft, so you can burn that.
Yeah.
But still.
That is a long burning fire.
It really is. It really is.
I mean,
he's saying he's going to kill a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
That's all he's saying.
Yeah. It's a little bit more darkly poetic than as numerous as the stars in the sky or the sand on the beach.
It really depends on how many fires they have going, I think. Like, if you had just one fire, maybe you could keep that going for 7 years if you whatever. But if everybody's got their own fire in their own place,
right,
that might last like a few weeks, maybe.
At most.
If you had, I don't think they had any more than, they couldn't have had any more than like 500,000 people. Like
right.
That's probably even giving them too much credit, right?
I agree.
And even if they had that many people, I don't think that wouldn't last 7 years.
No.
Not if it was multiple fires.
It'd last a week.
And if it was a bonfire even, that would probably be pretty quick too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They will not need to gather wood from the fields or cut it from the forest because they will use the weapons for fuel.
Okay.
Will they, though?
Yeah, I mean.
And they will plunder those who plundered them and loot those who looted them, declares the sovereign Lord. Because
I don't recall Gog ever looting any of these people. This is just him sending, unless he's referring to, if he's referring to this being Babylon, that would make sense.
Yeah, yeah. And yesterday we did say that Gog might be a code word for Babylon.
And that reference right there makes me think that maybe that's what he's talking about. So
right. He's like, we're going to get you back, you fucking Babylon bitches.
Yeah.
But we can't say your name because we're scared. And I'm God and I'm scared.
I think one of the biggest problems with the Bible is that some of the stuff we can kind of agree that this is about that, right?
Yeah.
But most of it is so vague as to, you can just interpret these things in the Bible any way you want.
You mean kind of like how myths are?
Yeah.
You mean kind of like how legends are?
Right.
You mean kind of like how stories of old, like the Greek and Roman gods are?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Say less.
Right.
On that day, continues God, according to Ezekiel, I will give Gog a burial place in Israel, in the valley of those who travel east of the capital letter C.
Okay.
Okay. East of the sea.
So would the capital letter C be like they already got rid of that, didn't they?
Yeah. I don't know what they mean by the C with a capital letter.
I mean, I would assume it means the pool that they built but that got dismantled by Babylon. So, because they did call that the sea, I believe.
They did. Yes.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's the capital letter.
Okay.
It's a capital S.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It will block the way of travelers because Gog and all his hordes will be buried there. So it will be called the Valley of Gog.
I wonder if that's a valley that still exists.
I don't know.
I don't either.
For 7 months, the Israelites will be burying them in order to cleanse the land. Damn, that's a lot of fucking bodies.
Right?
That could be Babylon.
Yeah.
All the people of the land will bury them, and the day I display my glory will be a memorable day for them, declares the sovereign Lord. People will be continually employed in cleansing the land. They will spread out across the land, and along with others, they will bury any bodies that are lying on the ground. After the 7 months, they will carry out a more detailed search.
Okay.
Are you looking up the...
I'm looking up to see if that valley exists, because I'm kind of curious if that's still there. Gog. Yeah.
As they go through the land, anyone who sees a human bone will leave a marker beside it until the grave diggers bury it in the valley of Hamongog.
Got it. Okay.
It's Hamon.
Hamon. Okay.
The valley of Hamongog.
Got it.
Near a town called Hamana.
Oh, okay.
And so they will cleanse the land. Son of man.
Yes, you mere human.
You fucking worm. This is what the sovereign Lord says.
Okay.
Call out to every kind of bird and all the wild animals. Assemble. Avengers, assemble. And come together, which is what assemble means, from all around to the sacrifice I am preparing for you. The great sacrifice on the mountains of Israel. There you will eat flesh and drink blood.
What?
No, I will not, sir.
What the fuck?
You will eat the... Wait, hold on.
It just says flesh. It might mean animal
flesh. Hold on.
Yeah. Just an FYI, real quick, while you're holding on. Mm-hmm. The Valley of Hamongog does not officially exist. So there's a lot of... it has a lot of symbolic meaning. Mm-hmm. But there is not actually a place that anyone is actually aware. They say it hasn't been discovered yet. So,
okay.
Which leads me to believe that it doesn't exist.
Right.
I would think that if you buried that many fucking people in the ground,
it would show up.
It probably would be something that somebody would remember even from that far back.
Yeah.
And it would make stories to where people would still know where it is.
Oh, also that reminds me, there's this kind of geological study from the air that people do now, where from the air, like in airplanes, right? Yeah. That they can see different kinds of markers and how the vegetation grows or doesn't grow, as the case may be.
Yeah.
And so they're using that to help identify
dinosaur bones and things like that, right?
Not just dinosaur bones, but
old civilizations.
Yeah, anything that is, buried or underground or whatever.
Right.
And so you would think that a big, gigantic valley of buried bones...
Right, would probably show up, yeah.
Somehow, like the vegetation or something would surely look different in that. At the very least, it would look different there. I'm not saying that it would be a giant marker that says, lots of bodies buried here, but it would be like, hey, there's a giant circle down there where the growth is different.
Yeah.
Let's check that out.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I went back a little ways, and no, he's not saying people come eat the flesh and drink the blood.
Okay.
He's saying he call out to every kind of bird and all the wild animals.
Oh.
So he's saying, say to those birds and wild animals, assemble and come together from all around to the sacrifice I am preparing for you, the animals.
I see.
Okay, so he's talking to the animals right now.
Okay.
The great sacrifice on the mountains of Israel, there you will eat flesh and drink blood. So this is interesting because normally the animals are sacrificed and then the humans eat them. But in this case, they're sacrificing the men to the animals.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. You will eat the flesh of mighty men and drink the blood of the princes of the earth as if they were rams and lambs, goats and bulls, all of them fattened animals from Bashan. Og of Bashan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gog and
Magog. Yeah, that's interesting. But Og of Bashan is, I think...
Gone.
Yeah, it's definitely prior to this. So
Og of Bashan is gone.
Right.
And Gog and Magog are now Agog.
Right.
At the sacrifice I am preparing for you, animals and birds, you will eat fat till you are glutted and drink blood till you are drunk. I want to see a drunk bird.
Yeah.
That would be funny as fuck.
Yes. Yeah.
At my table, you will eat your fill of horses and riders, mighty men and soldiers of every kind, declares the sovereign Lord. Okay, I know it's animals eating them. It's gross.
Yes.
Honestly.
It is.
I don't want to see or even imagine that.
No, so. I really like one of the worst images in my mind that I can conjure up is when like a a bird is like picking at it at meat, and it like picks up like a tendon and it like snaps it.
Jesus Christ!
It's so gross, right?
Yeah. That happens in like The Stand.
Yeah.
There's a place where that happens. Oh, and then
I saw it at Applebee's once.
Shut up!
I did. I was standing at the parking lot watching a bird do this. I'm like, oh my god,
that is absolutely not. Yeah, no. It happened in 28 Days Later. Mm-hmm. Like, the bird is chewing on a piece of human flesh that's hanging up there.
Just to be clear, it wasn't a human that the bird was eating on in the Applebee's parking lot. It was like a rabbit or something.
Okay, yeah. So the bird is in 28 Days Later. He's chewing on this thing, and the dad looks up right as a drop of the infected blood falls into his eye.
Yeah.
And then he goes zombie. But before he does, he's like telling his daughter to get away.
Right.
He doesn't want to,
I remember that, yeah.
Eat her.
Yep.
Oh, God. I cried and was terrified. Oh, that movie was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I'm horrified of zombies, but I'm also like morbidly attracted.
It's like a love-hate thing you got going on.
The best zombie movies are the ones that make me feel the most scared but have the best stories. Like 28 Days Later, I love that movie.
Yeah.
That's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. No zombies here.
Zombies.
Just animals eating humans. No big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. I will display my glory among the nations, and all the nations will see the punishment I inflict and the hand I lay on them. Yeah, they will all fear you then, Jesus.
But they still won't, though, because he's not... Well, I mean, he's saying that he's going to kill all these people, but really it's not going to be him. He never does.
Right.
So, let me backtrack. There have been a couple instances in the Bible where he claims to have killed lots of people, but... Like without the help of humans.
Right. Like he opens up the earth and shoves them into a crevice.
Right.
Or like he zaps them.
There was one back, it might have been, I can't remember which book it was in, but I remember him killing like 180,000 people.
Yeah.
Like just with a wave of a hand type thing.
Yeah.
But these are few and far between where he does these types of things.
And those were all like super, super early on.
Right,
like
which
Pentateuch.
makes them pretty questionable because...
It's Pentateuch magic times.
Yeah, because there was a lot more... They weren't even referencing like historical events at those points. They were talking about... It was just a lot of symbolism and,
the creation. We were still in creationism, honestly.
Right. So I didn't take any of those stories very literally at the time.
Right.
But now we're talking about the history of it all.
Historical events.
And they don't ever, when it's actually happening, they never describe it as God is actually just like snapping his fingers and doing it.
People did things.
Right. At his behest, but still.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I bet that those people would beg to differ. If they could say.
Right, yeah. No, I was fighting some dude, man. I wasn't fighting God.
Yeah, my king told me to go there, so I did. Because that's how it works.
Yeah.
Yo.
I think we should really, if we ever come up with time machines, we should go back and interview some of these people.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. From that day forward, the people of Israel will know that I am the Lord their God.
Yeah.
That's from that day forward.
He keeps saying that.
It's like you never know.
If what he says actually stood the test of time in any sense, they would know his name was the Lord from like forever ago.
Yeah.
But apparently they don't.
They keep not knowing. And he's like, this'll work. And it's like, no, they still don't know that your name is the Lord.
Yeah, you don't have to keep saying it if it works. When you say it works, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it didn't.
Yeah,
so,
and you have to stop saying it over and over.
Yeah, because
you're a tryhard.
We just can't believe you anymore.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you incel, bro. And the nations will know that the people of Israel went into exile for their sin because they were unfaithful to me.
Wait, what? Why are we talking about the egg? But why? They're back, and he already fixed that. And we're talking about Gog attacking them and how they're going to burn their shields for like 7 years.
It would only make sense if we're talking about Gog in place of Babylon.
Yeah.
Then he could be like, first my people were such buttholes that they, totally cheated on me with Egypt and Babylon and whatnot.
Right.
And then Babylon wiped them out because I said Babylon wiped them out. And then later on, I was like, aw, I'm lonely because nobody is sucking my big God dick. So I will gather them back together and put them back in the land. And then they will go get Babylon and kill them. And then I could be like, hey, Israel, remember when you cheated on me?
Right.
That would make sense if Gog is a representation of Babylon.
But it really wouldn't, though, if you fixed your Israelites, if God fixed his Israelites, right? Mm-hmm. And their hearts were perfect and wonderful and everything was great, then you don't have to bring that back up because they're already good.
But who are we talking about? We're talking
about a jealous, petty piece of shit God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a small, puny
God. Who can't even talk for himself.
Right.
So,
exactly. The nations will know that the people of Israel went into exile for their sin because they were unfaithful to me.
Yeah.
So I hid my face from them and handed them over to their enemies, and they all fell by the sword.
Okay.
I dealt with them according to their uncleanness and their offenses, and I hid my face from them. Again, twice.
Okay.
Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says.
Yeah.
I will now restore the fortunes of Jacob and will have compassion on all the people of Israel, and I will be zealous for my holy name. That's not love. You're like, I am going to suck my own dick.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you do that, but that is not proof of love.
But also, I thought we were talking at the beginning of this chapter how he had already brought the Israelites back.
Yeah.
And this is saying that he's not, like, solidifying the deal until, Gog of Magog is dead.
Yeah, I have
I don't really get this, but okay.
It's all silly.
It is.
They will forget their shame and all the unfaithfulness they showed toward me when they lived in safety in their land with no one to make them afraid. When I have brought them back from the nations and have gathered them from the countries of their enemies, I will be proved holy through them in the sight of many nations. Then they will know that I am the Lord their God. For though I sent them into exile among the nations, I will gather them to their own land, not leaving any behind. I will no longer hide my face from them, for I will pour out my spirit on the people of Israel, declares the sovereign Lord. The end.
But just to make sure I point this out, I believe we actually did some research to where after the exile was over, there were still like upwards of like 1 million Jewish people still living in Egypt.
Yeah.
So he didn't bring them all back.
No.
In fact, there was quite a bit that he didn't bring back.
Well, that's a thing that is still yet to come.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot. This is that whole why we're still looking for the lost tribes and that because it's prophecy. But yet, if there's anything that I could maybe touch on that is reasonable in this chapter, it's that the person that he's talking about, which is Gog of Magog, right? It only really makes sense if it was Babylon because of some of the phrasing they used in this chapter specifically.
Yeah.
And in the last chapter, actually, there were some references that kind of allude to the idea that this is Babylon that he's talking about coming back after the exile is over to try to reconquer them.
Yeah.
But because it's so vague and we can't really discern who they're talking about, it leaves it open to interpretation. And maybe that was done on purpose. I mean, maybe that was rewritten later as something because they're like, well, this never actually happened. We should probably rewrite this to make this something that might happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And that would make perfect sense.
Right. But they left some of the wording in, so it makes it unclear.
Right.
It makes it very not... I certainly believe that this is probably still referencing near future, much like the rest of Ezekiel.
Yes.
I just can't prove that because it's the way it's written.
Yeah. I don't think that it's like, 100 years from now or way far in the future because that's not how they roll. That's not what they've been doing.
Right. None of the prophets that we've come across thus far have been anything like there's no hint that it's going to be hundreds or even thousands of years off.
Most of them are like answering yes, no kind of questions.
Yeah.
And like, this is what we should do right now.
And I feel like the job of prophets in biblical times was more of a
advisory role. Advise the king.
Yeah. So they were able to assess the situation on the ground and say, this is what's probably going to happen. And yes, they couched it in a way that God is saying it because you can't, I believe my feeling is this, you cannot as a person under a king talk to that person as though you're an equivalent, right? And you have to invoke something higher than yourself in order to relay the message to that king,
right?
Because kings thought of themselves as the highest thing in the ground, in the land.
Yeah.
So you have to invoke something higher than yourself in order to have this conversation as an advisor to the king.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why gods exist, probably in a large part with in relation to how these things get written down. These are probably more likely, you know how like the CIA has plans on what to do if this happens or that happens. Contingency plans for the safety of the United States, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like prophecies were more like contingency plans for kings.
Right.
Only,
Early
again,
days.
they had to talk to them as though they were getting the information from a god, because you can't be smarter than the king.
Right, because the king knows everything.
Right.
Or they pull out a Sharpie and draw on a weather map and,
Sure. And look, this is all just me hypothesizing what those things might be, but it makes sense to me.
That makes the most political sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I can get behind that idea. That
Same.
So that's why I said it. Yep. Again, we're not scholars. We're not academics. No. But
we don't know shit.
It doesn't hurt to ask these kind of questions, right? Like, I mean, we don't know, nobody knows what this fucking chapter's about. I mean, I basically searched it while we were in the middle of the chapter. Mm-hmm. It doesn't hurt to ask questions. It doesn't hurt to suppose, what if this is the case? What if that's the case, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I like doing. And I want to continue to do it. I
would like to read this entire Bible story, but just only with politics and no God stuff.
I would like to reread this Bible with an apologist nearby. Honestly, like I feel like we might do this project again at some point.
Yeah.
And maybe multiple times, just to do it with different takes, with different points of view, with, because if we sat here with an apologist at the same table as us and we're like, okay, what's your take on this? I would love to respond to that and say, and then sit here and question them and say, okay,
not in an attacking way, just in a, I don't understand how you got
to that conclusion.
Yeah, like,
right. Can you explain that further?
Right.
And I feel like those would turn into some really long conversations, though. Mm-hmm. So we'd have to do it very carefully, and maybe I don't know how we would do that, but I would find those conversations interesting.
So would I. You'd have to find a Christian that would be willing to be questioned.
Yeah.
And that would actually be open to conversation openly.
Well, and one that also is very versed in the Bible.
Right.
So, like, that's going to be a rare bird that we would find that would be willing to do all of those and spend time with us on top of that. So.
Right. And be associated with an atheist podcast that drops F-bombs.
Right. So there's all that's blocking us from doing that. But we got time to figure that out. We'll just make, if everybody out there just shares us, shares our posts, shares our podcast, whatever, we can become like the most famous atheist Bible study out there. And then, we can like get some big names and we'll have some pull and we can do these things. So go share our shit.
But only with the cool people.
Well, no, share it with anybody. I don't give a fuck who listens to it.
Yeah, but I mean, only cool people can come on our podcast.
Oh,
that's what I meant.
Well,
like,
I mean, the people that come on our podcast are completely up to us.
Yeah.
So that's our decision. We're rambling way off fucking.
You are.
I am. So, I mean, we should probably just end this because I don't know what else I'm doing.
No.
All right.
Okay, bye.
No. That was Ezekiel Chapter 39.
Yes.
Which means that we'll be back tomorrow with
Ezekiel Chapter 40.
All right, now we can do it.
Okay, bye.